Hi everybody, Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty. How are you? Let's do a Facebook Live. Let's talk about the 7 tips. I'm going to give you 7 tips that will help you become a successful buyer here in the North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area. Before we get started, click notification, follow me, like this video, and leave a comment. All right, so whether you are a local buyer or whether you're moving to North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth from out of state, let's talk about 7 things, 7 tips to keep in mind when you're trying to submit an offer and what might help you actually become successful in actually getting a house. So, number 1, cash is king. If you're a cash buyer willing to overpay, you get to move to the head of the line, okay? Because that's what a lot of buyers are these days. Now, if that's not you, all is not lost. I'm just telling you that's kind of the competition. By the way, if you have gone to secure a loan, there are programs out there that can convert you to a cash buyer. Talk to your lender. One of them is called Ribbon. We're just trying to give you as many competitive advantages as possible. If, in fact, cash is king and cash buyers willing to overpay are typically the ones that are successful, then what can we do to make you a cash buyer? Talk to your lender. But one of the programs is called Ribbon, which converts you from getting a mortgage to actually using Ribbon's money, and you can write the offer up, or your realtor can write the offer up as cash. Number 2 tip, understand there's going to be a lot of competition. The market is just completely insane. Everybody and their brother are moving to Texas. So if you're here locally and you're out with your realtor looking for houses, by the way, if you don't have a realtor, I know a really good one. I'm going to give you all my contact information at the end. But you're going to see that when you are out looking at houses, there might be a realtor or 2 already inside the house showing the house, 2 more in the front yard, and 2 more pulling up outside. So very, very, very competitive. So you need to understand that. Tip number 3, understand it's not 1970. Whatever advice you're going to follow, be sure that it's current, up-to-date, professional, informed advice as to what's currently going on in the market. We talked about this before. I know your family and friends love you, and when you tell them you're going to try to buy a house, they feel compelled to give you their opinion. And God love them. That's wonderful. But their advice, more times than not, is not up to date, it's not informed, it's not professional, and if you follow their advice, I can almost guarantee you're not going to get a house. So, follow your lender's advice, follow your realtor's advice, because they know what's currently going on in the market. What number are we up to? Number 4. You're going to get one shot at this. The days of, well, we're going to kind of offer maybe a little bit less and give them an opportunity to kind of counter back to us, and then we'll meet somewhere in the middle and everybody will get a little bit of what they want. Those days are over. You're going to get one shot at this. You need to have the mindset of best and final when you originally submit your offer. You're going to get one shot at this, so make it your best. Number 5, don't ask for anything. If at all possible. Now again, talk to your realtor, talk to your lender, but here is what would be ideal. Don't ask for anything. Don't ask for an option period. Don't ask for a home warranty. Of course, don't ask for any help with the closing costs. Don't ask them to pay title policy. Don't ask for anything. That would be the most competitive offer that you can submit. Now, if you don't ask for an option period, you're not going to have an opportunity to have the house inspected. You could still have it inspected, but the sellers are not obligated to make any repairs whatsoever. It can be a little challenging, for you to be as competitive as possible. No option period, no home warranty, you paying for title, but that's the market that we're in. Successful offers are not asking for anything. Number 6. If you live here locally, you have a good feel for the area. But if you don't live here locally, you're moving here from out of state, you really have no clue of where to move. By the way, when you look on the map, I've got people looking north, south, east, west, and they think they're all next door. Texas is a big state. Dallas-Fort Worth area, North Texas is a big area. So when you're looking in Prosper and then Waco and then Granbury and then Tyler, trust me, those are hundreds of miles away from each other. So pick an area or pick a couple of areas. Get more specific so your realtor can help you specifically. Don't just be shotgunning and looking anywhere and everywhere. If you have kids, obviously the recommendation would be go where there's a good school district. If you don't have kids, go where your interests would be. For instance, are you a golfer? Are you a boat person? You want to be close to a lake? Do you want to be close to the airport because y'all like to travel a lot, or your job requires that you travel a lot, or you're going to be working at the airport, so that obviously that'd be a reason to be close to the airport. Do you like nature and camping and hiking? There's a lot of natural reserves here. You could be relatively close to those. Maybe y'all don't have any kids yet. You're still kind of into the nightlife kind of a thing. So if you wanted to live in an area that still has kind of a nightlife, if you were more in the Tarrant County side, that would be what I would call the West 7th Street area. If you wanted to be more on the Dallas side, that would be more of uptown. But if none of those really apply, then here would be my golden rule. Buy a house in a good school district, whether you have kids or not. Because there is always an ongoing, ever-increasing demand for houses in good school districts. So if nothing else applies, keep that in mind. Always buy a house in a good school district because you'll always be able to sell it relatively quick. One more thing, for people moving here from out of state. When you tell your family and friends you're moving to Texas, they're going to say, oh my God, do you know how hot it is in Texas? Oh, you've got to have a house with a swimming pool. Okay, do you know, obviously, it does get warm here. We'll talk about that in just a second. But do you know if your realtor does a search for houses specifically with swimming pools, do you know you're going to lose out on about 75% of the houses, if not more? There are a lot of houses, a lot of communities do have swimming pools, but the number of hits you're going to get are going to go down significantly. I mean, if a swimming pool is really important to you, what I might suggest is just don't click the box by pool at all. Just buy a house that may have a pool or may not have a pool, but yet it has a backyard big enough to accommodate a swimming pool. So probably about 1/4 of an acre would be reasonable enough of a size of a backyard that you could build a swimming pool later on. Now, let's talk about Texas weather real quick. People have this stigma that, oh my God, it's just hot as hell in Texas. Well, let me just say this. June, July, and August, I would agree with that. It's going to be triple digit. It's quite possible. It would not be unusual to hit triple digits. So June, July, and August, and really to be fair, I would say the last half of May and maybe the first half of September is still pretty warm. So you add all that together, that's 4 months out of the year. The other 8 months out of the year, it's either mild or it's cool or it's cold. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. It's going to be mild, cool, or cold. So this, oh my God, you have to have a swimming pool. I don't know. And here's the other thing. How much value does a swimming pool add to a house? Well, if the potential buyers don't want a swimming pool, it's actually a negative. As you know, swimming pools are expensive. They take a lot of maintenance, a lot of upkeep. And either you're going to do it or you're going to pay somebody to do it. And I'll just tell you a quick little story. When I was a kid, my grandfather bought a house specifically because it had a pool because he wanted all of his grandkids to come over and go swimming. That's all fine, well, and good. That lasted about 2 seasons. And then we outgrew the pool and nobody would go by there swimming anymore. And he always used to complain, why did I buy this house with a pool when y'all never come swimming? So it kind of has a novelty to it that can and will wear off fairly quickly. So that's the information on swimming pools. 7 tips. Cash is king. Remember, you're going to have lots of competition. Take professional advice. It's not 1970. You're going to have one shot, so your offer needs to be your best and final. If at all possible, don't ask for anything. Buy a house close to what interests you have. But if you don't have any interests, always buy a house in a good school district. And we talked about swimming pools. So, Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty. I've been here in North Texas. Well, I've been here all my life. I've been in real estate 32 years. I know the area really well. I've got a 98% approval rating on Google. More than happy to help. Feel free to call, text, email me. Anything I can do to be of help. Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty, 214-649-4528. One more time, 214-649-4528. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.